Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So we're going to be doing a gorgeous succulent card today using some new products from Uniquely Creative. So let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, so today we're going to be making a card using the brand new Uniquely Creative Succulents stamp set. As you can see, I've already been loving this one. These are really cool and I love succulents, so this is going to be fun. So I'm going to start off with, we're going to use a couple of the new dyes as well, the new essentials dyes, which is really exciting. But I'm going to start off with I'm going to get some paper and we're going to start with some stitched rectangles. So I'm just having a look. Oh, I like that one. I'm going to start off with this bit of paper. So I'm going to cut it in half. Grab the trimmer, just cut it along that line, and we'll get the stitched rectangles out. Now these are different, or a different size to the lawn fawn stitch rectangles, which I have here just because I wanted to show you. So these are Australian size card fronts, whereas these are obviously the American sized. So to just show you very quickly the difference between the two largest ones. So Australian sizes are a little bit taller and a little bit skinnier. So hold on, put those next to each other. Just a little bit skinnier, but a lot taller. So by using the Australian one, I'm gonna have, they're going to go straight onto a card front that fits an Australian sized card front. I'll get my words out in a minute. Now I'm not sure if this is actually the right sized card base rectangle that I want. I'm kind of umming and ahhing between this one and the one that's just the next size down. And that's just because I'm going to put it on a card front. This is also a Uniquely Creative one. And I'm just deciding if I want it to be the exact same size or if I want it to be a little bit smaller. The good thing is I can cut it out and cut this one out, and then if it's too big I can just cut it out with the smaller one. So I'm going to run this through my die cutter and we'll get the first of the stitch rectangles. I don't know why that's so hard at the moment. I'm not going to send that too far away because I'm going to use that a couple more times yet. So we'll just take the washi off. So I'm just going to have a look at that on the card front. Yeah, no, I want it to have a white border. So I'm just going to run it through again with the next size down. That'll get rid of a couple of those little errors anyway, so that'll work really well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. I'm actually going to hold on to this bit because it might actually make a really cool border for something later on. Not on this card, but like another card. Okay, so it's going to sit on there like that. And then I'm kind of debating two things. I know I want to use this. This is the come here. I can't pick it up. This is the slim lace, or slim doily border. No, I don't want to use the border. I want to use the rectangle. The slim doily rectangle. And I'm trying to decide if I want to use it in a white cardboard or if I want to use it in something else. But I want it to sit like here, and that's where then the sort of focal panel is. I'm just trying to decide what color I want. I'm going to cut it in white. And I'm going to cut it in white because then I can add some ink to it if I decide to. I might just do that and put in maybe some bundled sage. So I don't need to cut the whole of this because I don't need the whole slim line. I'm only going to use a bit of it. So I'll just cut sort of as much as I need. How beautiful is this? It just gives such a something. I'm going to pop out the little holes in here. There's not very many that haven't come through. So it'll sit just like that, and yeah, I will get the bundled sage and just add just a little bit of colour, but I'll come back to that. So we've got the base of the card ready to go. This is something I've wanted to use with Uniquely Created for a really long time. These are their laser cuts. And it's just going to add a little bit of dimension to the card. So I'm grabbing this one, which is like this little terrarium. I think that's the right word. I'm just popping it out. I'm going to add a bit of colour to this. So what I'm going to do is it's going to sit on here like this. And then we'll have the succulent sort of sticking out of it as we go. But I want to make this look metal, so I'm going to use some embossing powder to kind of give this a metallic kind of finish. So I haven't done this before, so I'm kind of excited to give it a try. It was actually Denise and Desley were trying this on some wood stuff at Planner Day a couple of months ago, and I got really inspired. I just haven't had a chance to actually do it. So here we go. So I'm going to cover this in Versamark, which will make it all sticky. And I'm just going straight to surface because I don't need to blend it on or anything. It's just going straight on there. Just having a look, making sure I've got it all covered, which I think I do. I'm just going to flip this over so I don't get all of the powder sticking to the paper that I just put on there. I'll just cover this over, basically the whole jar. Just trying to find my tweezers, they've run away. There they are. I knew they were here somewhere. Just tap off the excess. A little bit has kind of come off there, that's fine. Anywhere I can see there sort of needs to be a bit more, I'm just grabbing hold of it. And then we'll go ahead and heat this up. So I'm just going to move it off to the side for a second. It's got whoops, knocking a bunch of it off. What I might do is do half of it. So I'm going to hold it, rather than putting that away, I'm just going to move it off for a second. And I'll just heat up half of this, and then I can hold the bit that's been done while I do the other half. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up, and you'll see it'll go all metal. Just done half, or maybe a third, and I'll just let that cool down a little bit before I spin it around and use the other side. So I'm just bringing my powder back in, just making sure I've got every little bit I need covered. Now go ahead and heat up the rest. Done this before, and I like that it's a little grainy because it kind of gives it just a little bit of texture to the metal. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this stuff away. Don't want to waste any. Then we can start kind of building this up a little bit. So see, that'll sit there in the middle. How good does that look? Definitely need some ink on here though. We need just a little bit of bundled sage, I think. So we'll grab that. And I want this to be a very, 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 very light blend, which is hard for me to do. I struggle really hard with these light blends, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So I'm just sticking this to my mat just so it doesn't wiggle. The only thing I'm wondering, actually, I'm going to use a different brush. So I have my new pastel brushes here, which if I use that one, I might be more likely to get that nice soft blend because there's very little colour on here. And I've already used I think it was the bundled sage here. So I'm just want it a little bit on the edges and then fading in. So I'm being very, very light-handed. I've made a mess at the top, but that's okay because that's going to get cut off anyway. So just very softly along the lace edge. It does help that the colour is pretty soft. Just have a look. How good does that look? I just need to decide how high I want to go so that I know how far to blend up. I think I need to go a little bit further. I think I want to do this like a strip at the bottom for a sentiment. You guys have seen already that I've been really loving the Uniquely Creative, bang, dropping things on the ground. I've been really loving the Uniquely Creative sentiment strips. So I'm just sort of deciding if I want to use these ones or if I want to use a white one. I'm kind of leaning towards white just because they're a little bit, I haven't used black yet anywhere, so we'll see. I'm going to work out where this is going to sit. I think it's about there. So I'm just using the tape or the stick that's already on the back of that one just to be able to roll it over and mark out where I need to cut it. Just to add a little bit more dimension here, I think I want to put this up on a little bit of foam. Just trying to, because I know there'll be lots of dimension now. Like if I've got this and that and this, there's going to be a lot. I'm actually going to have that hang over the top because remember our car's just a little bit bigger. Yeah, we'll put a bit of dimension behind it. So I'm going to grab, got this little bit of green foam. This is just kids craft foam. Foam tape does the job fine. I just find this is a bit more solid, so I like using it. So I'm just going to trim that down. Doesn't have to be a good sort of straight cut because you're not going to see it anyway. And then I'm just going to use double-sided tape with this because it doesn't work so well with glue dots. So I'll just stick some all over the back and the front. On my front because I don't want it to. Just stick that down on the back and then we'll take off the tape and stick it down on the card base while we're here. We'll have the card base ready to go. Line this bit up first. So I'm lining that up on the top. In the middle as I can. I'm looking at those stripes and going, I did not cut that straight, but that's alright. Should have done that the other way around, but anyway. Then we'll stick this down onto the card base with just glue tape. I've just realised that I've cut that wrong. Not wrong, but it's just going to look a bit weird. So I'm actually wondering no, I can't put it back together. Kind of have to go with it now, but I should have either left it be the same size or had that go all the way to the top. I have made a mistake, but I'll get over it. So I want to put, I'm actually kind of considering having that sit there now because I think it looks really cool that way. So I'm going to leave that because now I want to get to actually doing some colouring. So I'm going to grab that stamp set, the Succulents that we had, and I'm going to stamp these out a couple of times. So I really want this one, this one, this one, and then a couple of the little ones. I'm just going to stamp that out on some Express It blending card with my Hero Arts ink. I'm going to speed through the colouring again today, but I'll list all the colours or try and put them up here so you can see them. But I'll go to some music while I'm doing that. So while I'm doing all this bit, you can kind of just listen and I will be back when they're all coloured in. I jump into the colouring, this is something that I do quite often. As much as the numbers on my Copics work really well, sometimes it's a great thing just to be able to see how they coordinate with colours next to them on the spectrum. So for example, my YG01, my YG03, the next one that's darkest is actually, or closest to it, is actually YG23. So I would never pick that naturally. So I like having my hex chart here so I can kind of have a look at the different kinds of greens. So I'm going to try and do like a yellowy green, a green green, and then like an olivey green. But using the chart means I'm going to get those right. So if you are a Copic person, if you are collecting, I highly recommend getting the hex chart from Sandy Allnock. I'll link it down below. But it's so worth it because I do get it out all the time. Alright, so I finished that one off with just a slightly different colour. So there's another shade of green in here. And if I slip this one under here, I think you won't notice it, the fact that it's not cut right. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of that white detail on this one as well. Okay. Alright. Off for a second. I'll have it sit there like that. I actually think I might grab some green ribbon and put that on the top here. I just think it will look really, really cool. So I'm just playing around with the placement of this. So I'm actually sticking the laser cut down so that I can wiggle things in around and behind. That way I can get everything to sort of fit the way I want it to. Having some kind of hiding or sticking out the side because we do have all this extra space, so you might as well use it. Might have to bring these down a little bit, they might be a little bit too high. I just want to have one hanging out the front, I don't know why. There we go, I think that's where I want everything. So now comes the fun part. This one's going to stick in over the top, so it'll hide everything but it'll still look like it's coming out. Just wiggling these around till I get them where I'm happy. Could obviously go up further, you could. I'm just going to take a picture of that just so I don't forget what it looked like. This is my little trick. If I ever can't quite remember or I'm worried about where things are going to stick, I'll do that. I'll take a picture and that way I can come back and look at it. But if I'm really clever here or really careful here, I might be able to get these glued down without actually moving them. So I'm going to use the washi tape I've already used to kind of hold these in place a little bit. If I get this one, because it's at the bottom, we'll stick this one down first. So just using some Tombow Mono Multi liquid glue, I think that's what it's called. Lots of glue, well not lots, but a bit of glue around the outside. And then, like I said, I've got the photo here. I can get it to turn on. So I can have a look and see where I put it if I can't quite remember. Gorgeous little cage. Oh, I love that so much. I can just tuck this little one, kind of like the way it was sitting before, just sort of on top like that. So we'll put the cage down first. I think cage is the right word. And I'm just putting the glue just obviously on the wood. I'm not putting it all the way around because I do want to still, especially down on this little corner here, I do still want to be able to tuck, and I'm definitely not putting it up around the ring at the top because I want to tie some ribbon or something on there, I think. So once I'm happy with how much glue's here, I'm just going to stick this down over the top. You've got some wiggle room with the liquid glue, so you can put it down and give it a second and yep, that's fine. Cool. And we'll get this little cutie. Actually, I might move it, just put it up here. I kind of like it. That way it doesn't cover this one. I think that looks really cool actually. So just a little bit of glue on here. Get some ribbon, get sentiment, and we'll be done. Okay. Now this is basically the only green twine or ribbon that I have. I think it's Kmart. And so I'm not particularly good when it comes to bows and things like that. But but I know I want to try because I like to add a little bit of texture of things I don't use a lot. This is definitely something I don't use a lot. I'm going to cut this into, I'm going to cut it in half. I'm really bad at bows, so I don't even want to attempt like a proper bow. Maybe. It might be okay. So I'm going to try and tie a bow and see what happens. That bow was not good, so we'll try another one. If I was really worried, I could grab like a glue dot or something and have that holding these down, but I'm actually okay with that. I think that's alright. Just for something different. Alright, last but not least, we need to do the sentiment. I'm going to go with a white one but I'm going to go with gold. And I've got Life Would Suck Without You, Not All Days Have Thorns, Pretty Fly for a Cacti. I don't really want any of those ones. Might grab one from my sentiment strip stamps. I'm going to grab this one. I haven't used it before. This is the Card Making Essentials 2 stamp set. I used this a little while ago on a Planners Anonymous stamp, but I'm just going to be a little bit more selective this time and just use one of the sentiments instead of all of them. Just placing that in the MISTI for now. I'll move these ones off. I always run out of room when I'm crafting like this. So I'll pick it up. Whoops. Told you, run out of room. I'm just getting a little strip white cardstock. Now I could be really tricky here and get the sentiment strip out and do the whole thing, but quite honestly today I don't really want to. So I'm just going to have that be held by the magnet. Have this one, thankfully it's at the bottom, so that helps. It just says thanks for making me smile. If I put it in the middle of the piece of cardstock here, it means that I don't have to worry about it. I can stamp it and then just cut it out. Inking that up. I'm not worried about the other one because obviously I'm not going to use it. Just get a bit of powder before we do all of that so that it doesn't stick where I don't want it to go. My magnet's going to be right in the way. That's alright. Probably get 2 sentiments out of this. Then we'll go ahead and put the embossing powder on this one. Dies, but I'm actually going to, just because I think it'll be a little bit easier. So this is the cut apart 5, and it does straight lines, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. It can make these gorgeous strips so much easier for me. Grabbing some tape to hold this still. Run that through quick. Oh, just for a minute there, I thought I'd ruined that, but that's the one that was not there, so it's okay. Whew, panic averted. So when you use this one here that just says thanks for making me smile, it's not 100% straight. That's me. I need to learn how to use these properly. But I'm just going to trim it a little bit on each edge. So just cutting it just a little bit so it fits a bit better. It's not quite straight, but it's close. One day I'll cut things straight and it'll work. I'm just going to put that on with a little bit of foam tape and then we'll be done. And there we have a very cute, very different, but very layered and cool. I really love that gold. And succulent card, I really love that. I didn't think I would like the terrarium as much as I do. I sort of thought it would look a bit funny. But it does really work, and by having that gold on there and having it be a little bit not perfect, it really does add to it. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. All these products are now available over on Uniquely Creative. I will link them down below for you, but you will be seeing a little bit more from Uniquely Creative from me because I've joined their design team for 2021 and I'm so excited and so thankful. But I would highly encourage you to check out the other people on the design team. There are some seriously talented people on the team, and I cannot wait to see what they create and what I can create using Uniquely Creative products through this year. Make sure you subscribe to my channel too so you don't miss any future videos from me. You can also like this video if you enjoyed it and follow me on all of my socials. Hope you have an absolutely awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!